It's your hostess with the mostest and your brother from another mother that truly ain't got no other. This AB.Marley. Hey guys, how we doing today?
Hey guys, it's your girl Nivaeyah, your sister from another M.I.N.D.S.E.T, because you know Papa was a
rolling stone.
Alright guys, and today we are going to get into N, which is navigation. But before we get in, I will say that I do want to apologize for having a delay in the video. We had some technical difficulties.
You know how that storm hit last week? Yeah, for safety reasons, we wanted to make sure that both parties were able to take care of what they needed to, and that is being safe and not being caught in that storm. And then power just was out for quite some time, and it took a minute for us to get all this together. So thank you guys for being very patient here with us, and we're going to take this opportunity to give you a little bit more throughout our Mindset Mondays acronym. And also guys, make sure that you check out our previous video for Mindset Mondays for M for mentality. Let us know how you feel about it. This is about ways that we break down words that you yourselves be able to deal with your problems on an everyday basis. What I like to call is my week trials. And it's just like, okay, we're going to take a definition of one word and we're going to break it through all the way. And navigating around things that do not always correlate with you. So for an example, you know how you've been surrounding yourself with the same people that you grew up with. Have you noticed that they stay stagnant in certain areas or with their entire being of who they are? And you've come to a pinpoint in your life where you're like, I've grown past that childlike mentality and now I have adult responsibilities that I have to take care of, or I have to be on my way to do that. So it's like you might outgrow some of your friends and family and you might not maintain that same relationship just because they're not in the right mindset at that time. Yes, everybody grows at their own pace, but sometimes it does take you to walk away from certain things and be like, you know what, this was fun, I enjoyed myself, but now I gotta move past forward. Otherwise I'm not gonna get through my life in a proper way that's healthy for me and not for somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, when it definitely comes to navigating and things of that nature, it will be hard, especially if you are going in the direction that you see fit for yourself. You will indeed lose a lot of people because they might not agree with the path that you're going down. And you will get a lot of naysayers that are like, oh, well, I don't think you should do it this way. I don't think you should go that way. I think maybe you should do it like this instead. Well, have you talked to this person? Have you consulted with this person? What are your parents going to think? What are you just going to leave your best friends like that? And when it comes to people like that, it's really hard because those are the people that you probably knew 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, they could be your best friends, it could be your parents, but it's more so you just getting to where you need to be for yourself, because you have to remember that no matter what advice you get from anybody, it is still your life, your decision. The decisions that you make for yourself will not impact anyone else but you.
In the long haul, yes, I can say that. For me, I can look at it this way. Why would I stop somebody from being the best person that they can be just because of my own insecurities, because I haven't found what I'm looking for yet?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, have I put in that work to get to where I need to go? No, I haven't. I stayed stagnant. Then at this pinpoint, it's like either I catch up with the friend that I don't want to lose, or I walk away from that situation and just say, thank you for all that you've taught me, and it's time for me to move forward. Those were the options that I gave myself in order to continue to strive and become a better person.
Yeah.
Because I don't understand why sometimes people have a tendency to put their own perspective or perception of what they should be.
Just to intervene, I was actually literally just about to say that last week how we were talking about involvement, and involvement honestly plays a big part in your navigation. And when I say that, I mean it in the sense of, just a while ago I said that you will have people that will drop their opinions on you because they may not agree with what you're doing. They don't like the path that you're taking, and they feel like it could be a different route, or maybe you should do what they see fit is best for you, even if you don't want to do it. you know? And pretty much where I'm going with this is the fact that you basically just want to be careful with who you surround yourself with when you talk about involvement, because that determines where you're gonna go when you navigate. Sometimes when you are trying to get to your destination of where you want to be in your life, you have people who will try to stop you from getting there, and you don't even realize it because it just might always seem like it's always an inconvenience that something just comes up or arises, you know.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So it's like when you make plans to hang out, let's say for an example, like a group of people went to go to the city to travel and they wanted to enjoy themselves, no matter what city that you're from, where you're coming from. And then you have that one friend in that entire group, they were fine up until you got to the location that you were at. They realized that they can't do the things that they normally are equipped to, and then the moment that you get there, they're like, I want to go home. And it's like, well, everybody here is in their non-comfort zone, so you're just gonna have to deal with it, because we didn't drive all the way out here just to drive all the way back home.
Exactly.
That's ridiculous. No, right. We're gonna enjoy a full day of what we can.
Exactly.
And there are people like that will sit there and be like, you know what? I see what you guys are doing. I said I was down for it. I'm only backtracking what I want to say now because I realize that it's too much for me, and I'm going to stop you from what you can do as long as you take care of me first. I mean, that's how I see it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's crazy because you will run into those people, and more than likely, unfortunately, they will be the people that you are the closest to, which are the ones that will stop you from getting to where you want to be, because maybe they might be jealous, or they just don't want you to see them. They don't want to see you doing better. And unfortunately,
envy is one of the greatest sins in the world, and when you're envious of someone, especially that is close to you, most of the time it should motivate you to do better for yourself instead of stopping somebody else from doing what they're made to do in this world. And I mean, like, heck, you can even talk about like how the situation went down with Nipsey Hussle, right? I mean, he was doing good for his community. He was taking care of his family. The person that everybody didn't think was going to kill him was the person out of the entire group that was envious of what they believe he had and took his life for it.
I mean, you can even say that with, if we're, bringing up celebrities, and you can even say that with Selena. That's a prime example. Selena was doing for herself, doing good. The person who ended up, basically became her personal assistant to a degree, became her best friend. And the one person who she thought that she could solely rely on that would never turn their back on her was the person that set her up and killed her herself. Killed the woman herself. Defenseless. Set her up. Took her life because she was jealous. Because she couldn't get to where she was. And that's nowhere where you want to be. When you are going in the process to where you are starting to lose people, don't be afraid. Because not everyone will be able to take that journey with you.
You gotta work through the pain, because there are gonna be some days where you're gonna feel numb. There are some days where you're gonna be too hurt to even function, as in like do your job, do normal household chores, making sure that you're communicating with other people besides yourself. And when that happens, it's like you can't stay there forever. You must move forward. I care about this person. I know that we've built a bond together, but is this bond helping me or hurting me? Are you allowing me to be who I want to be, or do I have to force myself to be that person?
I never really said I don't agree with what you are doing, is if I see that it is not a good decision. If I see that it is something that you can gain or learn or benefit from it, I will support you all the way. But I would never support you on making a decision that is not worth it, or something that I see will not work out in the long run.
I actually can honestly say that, because I remember there was one time that you and I we were kicking it, we were talking, and you know, we was drinking, and then like a lot of pain that I was going through just hit me all at once. And I was explaining to you each and everything, and you were just like, Ninja, calm your ass down. It's not that serious. You fucked up here and there, but it's not to the extent to where you're like, man, you going to jail type of shit. It's like, no, you did not know at the time. So fucking what? You're okay. Like, are you doing the shit right now? Are you doing that same shit? No, nigga.
Exactly.
Like, no, you're not. So calm down.
Exactly. And it's really hard to come by people who you can keep in your life forever.
Yeah.
Because majority of the people that you run into or meet in your life, they're only going to be in your life for a season. It may be school, whether that's grade school, high school, junior high, college, grad school, whatever the case.
Shit, most of the people that I knew in high school, I don't even hang out with today. There's only a handful of those that I'm still cool with. And I mean, like, it was just like, for me, it was like, my school days, I blacked out for most of it. Like, I just wanted to get through the whole freaking thing and be done with it. It was just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I feel like everybody around me is just out to get me, and I just don't want to be here. Let's go. As soon as I leave that place, I was done with it. I try not to bring anything from school back home, and it wasn't until I graduated that I finally got to officially leave everything. And it was the best feeling in the world. But the funniest thing was the books, the diploma, all that shit. I said, y'all can just I don't want to go through this whole freaking, you graduated, let's everybody take pictures. No, just give me my piece of paper and let me get the hell up out of here, because I've been done with this place for the last 4 years. 5 before I even got here.
Alright, so it's such a cliche when you always hear people talk about, the road not being taken, kind of, sort of. Mm-hmm. You always hear it as a term growing up, and you're just like, well, whatever, okay, 2 paths, whatever, doesn't really matter, and when we're talking about just trying to go towards your goal or getting through obstacles or whatever the case, mm-hmm. when you talk about those 2 roads, just to break it down, it's going to be the common way that people go, and then there's going to be the path that a lot of people don't take, which is usually the right way. But a lot of people usually don't want to do things the right way. They want to cut corners. They want to try to find the fastest way to get through it. And when it comes to just trying to hurry up and get things done, when you rush it, you're never going to get it the way how it should be.
I guess in the earlier sense, it's like trying to be famous and you do one thing one day and expect to be a high-class celebrity the next day. There's a process in the middle that you have to go through, that you have to deal with in order for you to appreciate what you have in life, basically. There's always going to be 2 roads to take. There's always the right way and there's always the wrong way. Either way, you're going to have to learn something. So if you wish to continue to grow into the goals that you want, sometimes you have to let go of certain people in order for you to get to the happiness in which you seek. You can thank them for the experiences that they gave you and say, I'm good. Thank you. I appreciate everything that you did for me in that time, but it's time for a new chapter in my life and I must move forward. Or you can be in the other one where you stick those same people that you've always been with around you and stay in the same place and wonder why you can't amount to anything. I'm not saying that every single person that's in a group is like that, because we said earlier, we have people in our group that's been way back in the day, since the earlier days of a single digit, and we realized that throughout that time we had to drop a few people, not everybody. There were just some that were just staying where they were at, and we didn't even if they were going in a different route than us, it's like, I appreciate you for what you've done and go ahead and do what your thing is, but that's not for me. I gotta go find my dreams and I'll come back. You can watch any animation and it should be like that in the same sense, because the ending of a good animation is like they built these bonds with each other to show that they can really do the best that they can, that they have these special powers, that they have these abilities to defeat the evil that's in front of them. But then when it comes down to everybody must learn to separate themselves and they can't do it, it's like, everybody here is great. All of you guys have a dream and a goal. Why are we stopping ourselves now because we don't want to lose that person? It's not like they're gonna leave forever. It's not like we can't stay in contact. It's not like we can't, hey, how's everything going? Are you doing well? I'm glad to see that.
If I can put this into perspective, you just got out of high school and all your friends are talking about how they're about to go to college, and then let's say you want to go to college, or let's say you really don't have a desire to go to college, but you know that you want to do something with your life, but you don't know exactly what you want to do. But in the meantime, you want to still be productive. So let's say you end up enrolling in the military. Now, let's say you actually do enroll in the military, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to go to college. I want to go into the military, and I want to, fight for my country. Whatever your definition of fighting for your country is, and you got your friends who are there for you when you were in high school, and they say, hey, no, don't go to the military. It's bad. You're gonna die. It's not that good. What about your safety? What about your family? And then you have your parents. They might say the same thing. We're scared. We don't want you to do this. It's way better. It's more ways for you to be able to get money and be successful than to be in the military. And everyone told you, oh, you go to the military, you're gonna die. No, not necessarily. Just because you go to the military does not mean that you are going to die.
No, but the way from what I can ascertain from the military and from going to college, it's like people that went to college spent all that time either, partying it up, trying to understand, whatever education that they're going for, whether it's English, whether it's nursing, whether it's, welding, it could be all kinds of things. But they spent all their time and their resources just trying to get one degree and then move on to the next one and move on to the next one. And then the fruition of which they have learned through those, let's say, 5-10 years of going to college, it's like, okay, what did I learn? This is what it's like to be financially broke. This is what it's like to be in debt. Okay, I've learned how to take these classes and courses. Now I gotta go find a job that fits that criteria. And sometimes when they complete their entire course, they realize that this is not for them. So now they go on to another class or another course, and they're like, I'm gonna go to that one. You see that before. That
didn't even go where I was even about to say.
No, but it's the truth, though.
It is the truth. It is the truth. Just going back into that, you decide that you want to go enroll into the military, and you got your friends they're going to college, and let's say while you're in the military, you decide, well, I'm in the military, you know what, maybe I do want to go to school. And let's say you didn't have the money to be able to go to college, but now because you're in the military, you now have the finances to be able to attend. And that, to some people, is not just your average route. That's not the normal road that people would take to go to school. Most people, they get help from, all different avenues, whether it be their parents or nameless things, from you, not financially, or they're so great that they, get scholarships, whatever the case is. But you have to take, but you being in the predicament that you're in, now you are taking the less taken road, which is you're going to the military to be able to pay for your school. And that's not bad. But some people, they're only going to look at it like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Why don't you just save up? Why don't you just try to do this? How come you just don't try to go somewhere else, or, or whatever? But you already have in your mind, you already have the vision that you want for yourself. And you're like, well, to me, I can travel the world, I can get education, and on top of that, this is helping me build my self-esteem, help me build character, help me do the things that I want to do in my life. That is part of your navigation. That's part of your path. That's part of
we all got our own forms of mental training and physical training and psychological stuff. When you really want to grow and be the best that you can be, certain times you have to take a different route than somebody else and just say, well, you know what, this is how I learned how to do things. Well, what she's basically saying is a two-step way of going to college. Instead of just jumping into it, you might not know that you're going to get it. For an example, as soon as I graduated from high school, I went straight to college. I was just like, you know what, let me give it a shot. I don't know what I'm looking for in my life, and I'm going to do what I can do. I took 2 courses And I realized in that time frame, college is not for me. Like, I tried to balance out personal life, college, financial stability, and it's like, it was like, whoa, okay, I thought I was going to be ready for this, and I'm really not. I'm still having forms of understanding. Not to say I can't go and, still educate myself in some form of the matter while I wait to prosper, but that was the route that I took, and that's how I got to realize. And I was fortunate enough to have like a scholarship, because the school that I went to took the best of the best with the best grades throughout a certain time period, and was like, okay, well, we're going to give you guys job experiences because you guys show that you're hard workers. You're willing to take your schoolwork as seriously as you would take a job. Okay, here we go. And it's like, okay, now that you complete these job courses, and it's like, oh, okay, I just learned how to work at a library. I just learned how to work at a healthcare center. I just learned how to be a cashier. I learned so much stuff in like a year's time frame from the school program that I took that into the next job that I had.
Right.
And even though college did not work out for me, I still had a backup plan to at least keep me going until I found something else. It worked out greatly because I was always a step ahead, or as far as I can get, to know that this is the way my mom took it, this is the way my dad took it, this is the way other family members took it. It didn't work out for them, and this, that, and third. And it's like, for me, well, why don't I already start now? That way, by the time I get to this point, I'm already going to have the money, or I'm already going to have, what I need to get to the next pinpoint. It's like, always think a step ahead. Always make sure that you know how far you're willing to take things, and set yourself free.
All right, guys. So, going back on those two roads that you're taking, for those of you that are taking the less traveled road, do not be discouraged if you fail. That doesn't mean you're not good enough. That doesn't mean that it's not for you. It just means that you've hit a bump, and you have to go back to your mindset and your mentality, which is, how do I overcome this?
Yeah.
How can I get through this? What can I take from this? How do I learn? How do I move forward?
Right.
Where do I go from here?
Many different places. You really can.
Definitely.
When you ask yourself that question, and you question what you are doing in the time frame that you are living, then you've actually started at the first stages of having some form of growth, because you have to question the things that you do, and then you must pick your head up and say,
I actually have a tattoo, and it says, live the life you love the life you live. I got that tattoo when I was about 22 or 23, and I got that tattoo because I knew that whatever choices that I made in life, I wanted to make sure that it would be something that I would be happy about, no matter what anyone else thinks, no matter how good or bad it may be. I felt like I just want to be able to live a life that I am proud of. For myself, and if it makes other people proud that I am doing great, then thank you,
Much love and appreciation.
Thank you. I mean, it's so funny because AB and I were literally having a conversation earlier. People feel that they have to broadcast everything on social media, and it's to the point to where it can be very toxic.
Yes,
the one thing that you need to know is that during your process, while you are navigating and you are taking your journey, everything does not need to be known. You don't have to broadcast the things that you are doing to take the steps to where you need to be.
No.
Because when you do that, you are drawing people to you. That's that involvement. You are drawing the wrong type of crowd of people to you.
You're trying to get validation for the things that you have done, instead of learning how to pat yourself on the back and keep moving forward and do what you got to do. Because not everything that you accomplish. It's like, I guess the best example I can bring is that I am an artist. I draw a lot. When I draw my anime characters, I don't post every single thing I did during that time frame. What I do is, okay, this is how I started, this is where I'm at the middle, this is the end result, and then here you go. These are my 3 results of how I got into it. I didn't do like every section of the face that I erased and put back together. Nobody needs to know the process of everything. If you want to show them the beginning, middle, and end, that's fine. But the whole world does not need to know about everything that you do. Sometimes it's good to like keep things to yourself, because then this way you feel secure in what you're doing.
Yes.
Like, and on top of that,
it honestly, when you learn how to not always involve a lot of people into then trying to always, tell this person this, tell this person that, oh, I gotta make sure I keep up with this because I put this on Facebook, I put this on whatever social media sites that you're using, and it creates a type of platform that you have now built to the point to where you may or may not be able to sustain it and even live up to whatever it is that you are portraying in this journey that you are going through. Why do you think a lot of people who are successful get to where they are? Because they mostly keep maybe a small group of people in their circle that they can trust. And they all move together as a unit through that navigation, through that journey to get to where this one person is trying to get. Because they're telling them the things that they need to hear, not the things that they want to hear. They're telling them the things that they should not be doing and the things that they should be doing. And they're also keeping them healthy. When I say healthy, I mean they're keeping them mentally healthy.
You got those friends out there that are here to tell you nothing but the truth. They don't spare your feelings. They don't beat around the bush, as the saying goes. They're not there to pat you on the back and be like, good job, you did a great job, I'm so proud of what you did. It's like, no, I'm your friend. You want the honest truth or you want to lie? Okay, well, this is how I seen what you've done in this time frame. I think that you're emotionally unfit because the way you just come off on people. This is just the way I visually see it. I may have that understanding because I've been there before, but this is the perception of how I seen it in the earlier stages to where you are right now. Okay, well then, the way that you did that, I feel like if you would have explained it this way, it could have been short and simple to the point. They're critiquing you in a way that's saying, hey, I can see what you're doing. I'm just giving you a heads up. You can take my opinion if you wish. If not, I'm going to keep it moving because I'm not going to be hurt at the end of the day knowing that I gave you an opinion. I just know you just did what you wanted to do at the end of the day.
If you have a friend and you ask them for advice or they ask you for advice and they don't like the advice that you give them, but it is you telling them the truth and they don't want to hear it, that is not a person that will be with you in the long haul for your journey. Because ultimately, if they can't even admit that they had the problem or they were part of the problem and they want to deflect it instead of reflect, they won't last with you. Because they're only going to be thinking about themselves. They're not going to help you. They're not going to motivate you. They're not going to be there for you. They're not going to tell you when you need to pick your head up. They're not going to tell you, hey, I've been seeing you in this slump. I think it's time that you need to get up out of it. Wake up, kind of thing. They're not going to be there for that.
That's when you're supposed to be there for yourself. I mean, there's plenty of different ways of going about it, looking at lifestyles, trying to make sure that you go into the direction that best suits you in your travels on becoming that better person. But we're trying to sit here and say for navigation, when you start from M, which is basically you have to check on your mentalities and know where you stand at in your life and how you're going to go about it. I is in involving yourself around people and the goals that you're trying to get to that's going to help you move forward. Because when you don't involve yourself in anything and you just believe that where you're at right now is a fine ideal, you're in an unhealthy state. That's not where you want to be and want more.
If you think that you can just go through life and and you don't need any improvement, you don't think that you need any work, you think that you got it all together, you think that you just all of that and anything else that you can be, you, my friend,
have a problem.
got it all jacked up.
Not in a good way.
You need to go back to step one, which is mentality.
Yeah, you need to start from mentality to work your way back up and go through the changes that you need in order to improve. The first step in anything that we do in our lives when we are trying to become something or do something in our life is owning up to it by reflecting. What have I done to get to this point? Who am I at this time of my life? How far am I willing to go to get there? Am I willing to sacrifice certain things to have that life? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Just to add on to that, AB and I were talking earlier, and we did have a conversation about you are your biggest enemy.
Oh, yeah.
You are your biggest enemy. If
You're
a lot of people,
critique,
you are your worst critic. A lot of people, they always are like, oh, I can't do this because, I feel like the man. That's what everyone always goes to. The man got me down. No. Think about it like this. Think, just be with me here. Hi guys. Remember, let's say 4 years ago when we had a black president, and you know how when you're a kid, parents say, oh, you could be whatever you want to be. You can even be the president. And especially, you clearly see that I'm black. You see that he black. So let's just be real. It's easier to hear something. It's easier for you to conjure a dream and to be like, oh, I can be this when I grow up.
Yeah.
But you don't actually really see it. You don't necessarily see someone there, so you think that is not possible. Although you want to do it, but you feel like it's impossible because you haven't seen someone like you do it before. Well, you know what you could do? You could be the first person to do it. That way you can inspire other people to do it too.
Like you go into a computer and you found a meme or a quote that you really like and you copy and paste it. Instead of copying and paste that same quote, why don't you create your own so that people can do the same for you? It's like, ooh, I like what you just said there, now I'm gonna take that idea and I'm gonna run with it myself. It's pretty much the same thing. You have to have your own imagination, and you have to create that imagination within your head and then visually bring it out to life. Like, it's like, okay, well, how can I be the president of the United States? How long did it take, this individual who looks like me get to this point? Or I don't have people that hit those pinpoints. Okay, well, how do the other ones that do not look like me get there? And am I willing to take those steps to put myself in that position? If I am, then hell, let's get at it. Let's do what we got to do, and let's make it happen. If you don't, then you stay in the same space. You don't do anything. You stay going like, I'm going to put my responsibilities on somebody else, because I'm not willing to own up to anything that I've done at this time. You guys have to learn to navigate around life. You have to find your compass. You have to know which side that you're going to, whether you're walking with people, whether you're not walking with people, whether you have this vision of who you are. At the end of the day, know where you're going. Yeah. If you don't, ask that question. If you feel like the person that you surround yourself with is not answering where you feel like, it's time to move on from that person and go on to the next one. Everybody doesn't have the same background, everybody doesn't have the same understanding, but we all do the same thing. We work with our mentality, we involve ourselves with people, and we navigate through our life so that we can be happy for ourselves on what we got going on. So at the end of the day, that's what you guys need to make sure that you do for yourselves. I want you guys to take this opportunity, because next Monday and prior last Monday, we posted for M for Mentality, and then we didn't get a chance to post for Evolving for I. So we're gonna be doing that. I want you guys to take these video, watch the other two if you haven't, go through each step, and then tell us what you think in the beginning, towards the end actually.
Yeah, definitely. Before we, wrap this up, I just wanted to touch back on the whole Barack being president thing.
For sure.
Barack is a prime example of one, starting with M, mentality. Barack Obama became, a black president in the United States of America. made history, okay? And do you know how much chaos and
buffoonery that was going
on because he was in a race just to even become president? And not only did he just become the president, he served 2 full terms. He did 1 year, he did the first 4, and then he did another term after that. 2 consecutive terms. He was a president for 8 years. He, just imagine what he had to prepare himself to be able to get into that mindset mentally. Just to even get there. It started. Maybe when he was a kid, he probably didn't even think that he would ever become the president. Maybe that wasn't even a dream that he even had.
Yeah. What he said.
But he took the steps to get there. And not only did he take the steps,
we're going for the next generation too.
Not just that, but his wife. That's I right there, Michelle. That's I. She invested in him. Not only did she invest in him, she believed in him. She motivated him to do better, to be better, to show people, hey, they can say whatever they want to say about you, but at the end of the day,
you my husband, you my man. We're building this relationship together, and we're building a foundation for our children and our family.
Exactly.
Nobody can come between that.
Do you know how many? Do you know like the amount of time that Michelle had to put into him to keep him motivated, to keep him positive?
That's a stressful job. You guys understand like, the responsibilities that you have for the entire United States.
Yes.
Even if you are, how some people perceive it as a puppet on strings, which is understandable. Everybody has their own perspective of, what they think a president is. But you are the face for everyone to throw their problems at when a situation happens, whether it's domestic or outside, terrorism. And it's like, well, either you approach it to protect your people or you approach it to protect all people. But you have to be willing to make certain sacrifices in order to get through. It's either I'm sacrificing my mental health, I'm sacrificing my emotions, I'm sacrificing my, what I have that I surround myself with, whether I'm going to have people that are going to be on my side or not. There's some people that are not going to like the way I handle things, and there are going to be people that do. Either way, I still have to come to a decision, and that it can be stressful. The fact of the matter is, when you have that person that's by your side, that's like, babe, I got you. Babe, it's gonna be okay. Babe,
even if it's not a relationship, even if it's just a really close friend or a family member, as long as you always got that one good person that can consistently stay involved in your life, that can be that cheerleader for you. That is all that matters. Not just what you think, but also what they think, because
you gotta do that vice versa thing, because you can't leave them one-sided.
Definitely,
that's the one thing I want you guys to remember.
Exactly, and even with that, although Barack, became the president of the U.S. and he did full 8 consecutive years. Michelle was still, doing her own thing. She ended up finishing school. She even got another degree, and even Michelle, she is the most educated first lady
out there.
The most educated first woman that we have ever had in the United States. And she black.
Good looking. Know how to treat.
Well put together.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and now we're gonna go into which is something we talked about today, which is navigation. That journey that they both took, even though it was Barack's path, Michelle took it with him. Yep, do you know how many? Do you know how many people Barack Obama probably lost when he told them like, oh, I'm finna go run for president? And you know how many people told him, you ain't gonna be president because you black. Just like that. And I ain't even making that up.
No, there are some people out there who really do think that just because of your skin complexion and the way things were and that to this day that are going around.
They joked about it.
Yeah,
they probably
like,
a lot of people probably joked about it. A lot of people told them, "Oh no, you just got a big old dream. You are never gonna be president."
Yep.
Well, you from Chicago. You can't be president. You from the South Side. You and Michelle. Y'all can't fit in with them. Y'all can't fit. Y'all not good enough. That's the path. That's the path that they took. But at the same time, they both had a strong mindset.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure that Barack and Michelle both had to jump through obstacles together and separate just for him to even get to become the president. And
That's
even
true.
after he became the president, not only it was a slap in the naysayer's face that one, he became the president, and two, he served 2 terms back to back. That's for all the people that said he couldn't. That's for all
that they had to go through in order for them to stay together as long as they did. Even prior before that, it's like that's a almost 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job that you got to do. Something could possibly happen. You got to be like, well, I got to do what I got to do. But what I loved is that both Obama and his wife Michelle, they took some time away and say, I got to make sure that my family's okay. I have to make sure that the circle I surround myself is okay, because without them being okay, I cannot be okay.
Right.
You can be strong,
right,
but you cannot be strong for everybody all the time. Sometimes it's okay to let that moment go.
And even going back to that, although they may have lost some people on the journey to them getting to where they are now, but just as much as they lost people, they also gained people too. So you also have to remember, even just, in that journey, just because you lose people who you may have known all your life, there's always going to be another person that you're going to run into that will benefit you in another different way that you never even thought that they could even benefit you in.
Yeah.
That's a concept, that some people aren't even honestly, ready to even talk about,
That's like the same thing when somebody has a conversation about the passing of somebody. Like, you don't want to talk about it. But it's like, eventually you're going to have to talk about it. Because regardless of the way you feel about it, if you done talked about it, a lot more would get off your chest if you just admit to what's been bothering you. It's what's the saying I like to put into it? It's like you're putting your problems on somebody else by speaking about it. It's like, well, you're a problem, and the reason why you're a problem because you drink too much and you don't like the way you look. And it's like, hold on a minute, are you talking about me or are you talking about yourself? Because the way I perceive this, it's you're trying to place your problems on me so you can make yourself feel better. But that's not going to fix the problem. That's just you just avoiding it. When I say navigate, I don't mean completely avoid the problem altogether. You have to work with it, and you have to get through it. You have to admit to the pains and the problems that you have. If you do not do that, I'm not sorry to say this, but I get sick and tired of it. My navigation, that's when I move around it. Because I can literally admit to myself, I've done the best I can with the best of my abilities. There's nothing more I can do for you. Maybe it'll take you losing somebody to go like, you know what, I should have done better, or maybe I could have lost that person.
Hey, sometimes when you're going through that journey, that navigation, that's when you might get that 3rd degree that you never thought you was going to get. Yeah. You're going to lose that one person that you thought was like, dang.
That's your ride or die.
I can't believe, they hurt me so bad, and I gave them chance after chance after chance after chance. Dang, I can't believe I really gotta let him go. Hey, everything.
That's what it is.
You can't. Everything is not meant for everybody.
No, and that's when all you can do at that pinpoint is say, thank you for the lessons that you've taught me. May whatever you got going on in the back of your mind and into your future prospers and does well for you. It's my time to go. But I cherish what we had.
Yeah. That's the only thing you can do is just hold on to the memories, but don't dwell on them because the past is not going to give you. If you only stuck on the past, you're never going to move forward, and you can kiss your journey goodbye.
But that's what we wanted to talk to you guys about. I hope that you took these lessons and did very well in having some form of understanding of what we can do to navigate around the world. You guys, I appreciate you. Both I, AB.Marley, and Nivaeyah over here appreciate everything that you guys done for us. Please check out these videos before this one. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Subscribe and show to your friends that this is something that you wish to talk about and make some improvements on. Take this opportunity during this epidemic to say, what can I do to improve myself? Or what have I done up to this point to get me here today? And I want you guys to take that time and to grow as much as you possibly can.
Alright, but
okay, look, it's 20 seconds. God damn. Ah, damn.
What was that? Just to conclude and to pretty much wrap everything up, you know, your journey will not be an easy journey.
No, it'll never be.
It will definitely be hard. Whoever told you life is easy, they lied to you.
Ooh,
and it's gonna take some getting used to, you know, having maybe kind of sort of a revolving door of people coming in and out of your life. You just have to figure out what people fit where and who should continue to be with you and
Yes.
people who are no longer able to be with you. And you have to remember that the people that you lose along your way, that doesn't necessarily mean that
they were genuinely bad or you were completely
exactly
evil.
it doesn't change anything about your character if you lose people with the, you know, people that you had. It just means that people just end up wanting to do their own thing and
Yes.
going their own way. People grow and start to have different interests.
Yep.
You know, and it's really up to you to really figure out what direction that you want to go in your life, you know, what you want to do, your aspirations, your dreams. And you're going to meet people along the way that have the same ideas that you do. You know, I mean, that's pretty much it. You're going to meet people along the way that are going to be able to help you get to your goal. That's going to help you get through your journey. That's going to be with you, you know, for the long haul or whatever. That's why majority of people, you know, end up getting married to whoever it is that they ended up going to college with, because that person is the person that they are going to probably end up spending their journey with.
You know, it's the best way I can say and add on to that, it's the relationships that you build with people in your past, and even though you've fallen out now, doesn't mean later down the road that they can't come back. And that could be the truest friend that you ever need to fulfill a relationship that you've been seeking for yourself for a very long time.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter like what you thought about them then, it's about what they're doing now. That's the entire
Definitely.
point of the growth of the relationship and the friendship that you got.
You know, AB and I, although we have been knowing each other since we were kids, I'm talking like 6, 7 years old. You know, every experience that he has had in his life, I have not been there for every single one. And just as much the same that he can say for me, every experience that I've had, he
I wasn't there for all those years that we've known each other. There were some patches where I was gone for per se like months to years, but
and the same thing for me. But even though we weren't there all the time for each other, we still checked up on each other. We still communicated.
Hey, how you doing? Is everything okay?
Exactly.
Do you need to talk about something?
Exactly.
Like, it's just something simple. But anyway,
you know, just, you know, to do another conclusion to the conclusion
of a conclusion.
You know, that journey that you take, it will, one, definitely test your character. It will test the person that you will become for the rest of your life.
You will realize things about yourself that you never knew or was willing to admit to, but as long as you know how to maintain it, you should be fine. And I mean like maintaining as in not hiding it from yourself, but knowing that, hey, I have these triggers, I have these problems, I can move around it, I can work against it.
It will also expose people in your life.
That too.
The good and the bad. It will really be an eye-opener to the people who you have in your circle that are for you, or people that are just there taking up space to say, hey, I was here for this.
You remember how Medea said that, you know, like you got to maintain those people that are the roots in the tree, because anything that's a branch or a leaf is only going to last a season or so far. that's the entire point that we're trying to make here. Find those people, those are the roots in your life, and keep them with you because they're going to help you grow and move forward in your life. The branches and the leaves are only meant to be there for a certain time frame, and with that being said, they are going to be breaking off this tree, and you're going to keep your sanity and keep it moving. Like, we're only supposed to do that, teach you something and move past it. And don't let the past triggers get you in a way where you stay stagnant in your life. Stop paralyzing yourself with life because of stupid choices. Save yourself by admitting what you have done, both good and bad. Say I can do the things that I can in the time frame I have. Ask the questions that are necessary for you to move past pain and get better at life. And I can guarantee you that once you get to the next one, you will see how far life can go for you. Oh yeah, no, I was going in. I had to get that off my chest because sometimes I've been talking to people and they just irritate the hell out of me. And it's like, I'm tired of hearing the same goddamn story.
Alright guys, so that is all that we have today. It is your sister from another mister.
And your brother from another mother, but you ain't got no other. But we'll see you guys later and you have a wonderful day, alright?
See you guys next week. Alright, but
okay, look, it's 20 seconds. God damn. Ah, damn.
I broke it.
Shit done broken mine.
I done broke it in my phone. Alright guys, so
Too bad.
you can't hear us because our mic is not plugged up.
Oh shit, our mic is not even. Yo, this whole time. Are you fucking serious?
Where you going? The mic is right here.
I'm down with something like that. How the fuck we both looking dead at together? I just made that face and that's all it takes.